A lot of attention as a writer and performer.
You know, when people talk about your career, they talk about these ups and then the downs.
Man, I don't know what the downs have been.
I am the smartest man alive!
I drafted off of his enthusiasm and energy.
It's Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler. We're here with Adam Sandler.
A big part of every kid's personality in the late 90s and early 2000s was quoting films like Billy Madison,
Today, Junior.
Happy Gilmore,
The price is wrong.
Big Daddy,
Will somebody get the kid a Happy Meal?
and of course, The Waterboy.
Gatorade.
H2O.
But there were also those aside from Adam Sandler who seemed to be having their own renaissance. David Spade had his classic Joe Dirt,
If I told you had a beautiful body, would you hold it against me?
Sure would.
Rob Schneider his Deuce Bigelow. Yet these films, released simultaneously within the Sandler era, felt incredibly familiar. What I didn't realize at the time was that some of the most popular films of that entire decade all led back to one man.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
No. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Needle dick. Needle dick.
He has a 5-year plan.
What is it? Don't
For a lot of us, Judd Apatow was our introduction to the underdog lead.
I think people like people who are struggling in a movie. Like, I like, The Bourne Identity. I like Matt Damon, but I would like it more if it starred Norm from Cheers, you know? I mean,
A man who would regularly cast the same familiar faces throughout most of his films. Individuals who all seemed to differ from the conventional norm. But before Apatow became Apatow, there was a man who'd break the stereotype of the typical Hollywood leading role.
I was very driven, man. I don't know what the hell was going through my head.
Adam Sandler wasn't just interested in telling stories. See, at the core of most of his films was an underachiever.
This court is after the truth, not the opinion of the defendant's father.
My son is a moron.
I withdraw my objection. Please proceed.
These characters of his were certainly flawed and at times overly aggressive, but oddly enough, also incredibly likable.
Good, no more crying.
Are you okay, man?
Next time, kill me.
Sandler seemed to have his finger on the pulse of both what the average person
Everybody my age pees their pants. It's the coolest.
and what the average problems were like.
To give this young man custody over another life, it's insane.
At the surface, they seemed difficult to relate to, be it a grown man repeating grade school to inherit a hotel empire,
Couch. See?
or a former hockey player turned professional golfer who was now competing in the big leagues. Yet, at their core, there was often more meaningful themes. While Billy Madison is a tale of personal growth and responsibility, it took the time to poke fun at the institutions it highlighted. The absurdity of repeating all of school within such an incredibly short time,
Billy, if you spell this correctly, you pass 2nd grade.
bypassing typical education restrictions, is the sort of luxury only reserved for the ultra-rich. In Happy Gilmore, he was not only on a path towards personal redemption, but playing to save his grandmother's house.
You can't just take her stuff. She's too old.
A more meaningful reasoning as opposed to golfers like McGavin who played only for money and fame. While there was often a deeper theme behind the manic or slapstick characters,
Nice parenting.
Hey, thanks. You my therapist? Take a walk.
critics couldn't possibly care less. I mean, every Sandler film just got absolutely torn to shreds. Sandler, understandably, had trouble coming to terms with the negativity.
You start checking everything you're saying and thinking.
This overwhelming amount of bad press would cause him to doubt his own creative process.
When we were writing the next one, we were very like, they're gonna hate this if we do this, and then we started saying, what's the difference?
Yeah, it's not healthy.
But while he certainly wasn't making fans out of the critics, he was building a massive cult following among the general public.
I'm just gonna pause right there because I just want to say that's why I'm heavily on the other side of the fence when it comes to encouraging the young people. Take your time. You don't have to be in a rush. You have your 20s ahead of you. You're gonna finish school, take a year off, take the summer off, relax, get your mind right, get the fun out of you. Go out with your friends. Stay out of trouble, but go out with your friends. Date some girls. Some of them you're gonna take serious, some of them won't. That's fine. Enjoy your 20s. And I advise against that. I feel like having done that, having used my 20s to relax and get it out my system, so to speak, I wish someone would have actually told me the truth. And the truth is, you don't have all the time in the world. Life is short. Life is about balance. There's time for fun, and there's times to get serious. Now is the time to get serious, in your 20s. What you slay in your 20s, you'll eat in your 30s. What they don't tell you is that you have this drive about you. Listen to how he said in the interview. That stuck out now that I think about it. He said, I don't know what it was. I was just going, something along the lines of maybe I just took the words right out of his mouth and stole them. Maybe it was along the lines of, I just had this drive. I don't know where it came from.
I was very driven, man. I don't know what the hell was going through my head.
The point is, that's important, because it's true. You got this, when you're young, you don't know enough. You haven't experienced enough. You don't understand or fully comprehend that it might happen for you and it might not. You're just on go, 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 go. Chances come your way, I can make it happen. I'm going to get this. I'm going to be in movies one day. This is what you're seeing. This is what you're telling yourself. You're so dead, laser focused, nothing can get in your way. And you need that. You need that because as you get older, 25, 28, 30, this fire in you can slowly begin to die. And then it becomes your job where you have to, you have to fan the flame. You have to keep it alive. The older you get and you're getting in your 30s, you're actually trying to keep it alive. So not only are you focused on paying bills and family or whatever you have going on in that area, as well as keeping relationships healthy and good, being there for people, being a good friend, being a good son, if you have, being a good husband, if you have. So you're focusing on the healthy aspects of life, relationships, which is what life is all about. You're focused on relationships and maintaining that, upkeeping that. You're focused on your job, keeping your job. You need to pay the bills. Things need to be paid. So you're focused on bills and job. Then you're focused on this goal of yours, whatever the goal is. And now you have a side job to keep this spirit alive. Because it's so easy to get into a mode where you're like, man, I got a family. And they need me. I'm happy. They're happy. I got a good job. Let me figure out the... Because you're fighting with reality now. Because you lost some of the unknown. The not fully educated. You lose that little by little. When you're young, you have that. As you get older and your position and you're meeting people, you have to put into play all of these pieces. You're meeting people that look just like you. You're meeting people who look better than you. You look at them and you're like, man, you could be in a movie. She could be in a movie. She should be a model. People who are smarter than you. You're meeting people who you think, man, you're very educated. You're smart. You're meeting people who, not that you're comparing yourself, but you wonder, who do I think I am? I'm no better than the people I'm around. They have no intentions on leaving this job. Some of them are going to get this job, work in this job. And some of them will go on and move up in the company or go on to bigger and better jobs. But they're all planning for their future, and none of them are talking about fantasies or dreams. So now you're dealing with keeping your fantasy and your dream alive and your goals. This is why it's important to not find yourself at a place where you're constantly comparing. Because it's easy to look at the guy that has the same thing you have going on. Whether it be single, and you're or whether it be kids in a family and your kids in a family, but he got a house and he has 2 cars and he has a 2025 vehicle. You can't get wrapped up in comparing. But the point is, you find yourself at a place where you're working just to keep that spirit alive, because it's so you're walking on thin ice, and it's so easy to let it crack and just fall and just say it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm here. Let me figure out how to get in a position at this job, because that feels more like a reality. That feels more likely being the owner of this store one day, if I work towards that. To you, in the space you're in, that feels more likely than being in a movie one day. No one around you is talking about movies. No one around you has ever been in a movie. So slowly but surely and the flame never dies. I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe the flame dies. But it's dimming. The light is going real dim. And now you have to work to keep it alive. The older you get, you have to continue to keep it alive. Because it's your job to believe in this. It's your job to believe in your dream, your calling, what you feel God has put in your heart, which is the flame. That's the flame, the burning desire to do something. That's your purpose. You're called. And you're fighting yourself. You're fighting your reality. You're fighting in the flesh what you know in your spirit is true. As true as the very flesh you're within, the temple you're in, as true as it is, you believe in this thing. In your heart, in your spirit, your person, your spirit, who you are, the makeup of you. When this ashes to ashes. And that's a challenge. That's a challenge that when you're young, you're not dealing with that problem. You're moving mountains. You have faith. You're believing. You're putting the work in. And your lack of ignorance is bliss. Your lack of wisdom has you going far. It has its downside, of course. You see a lot of young actors and young rappers who they run through the money. They blow their bag. They think it'll last forever. They don't spend wisely. You have your downfalls, for sure. You have your young entrepreneurs or young rappers or entertainers, actors and actresses who go through phases where they're using drugs and abuse and this and things happen. You have your downfall. But you definitely have an upside. And the upside is you're fearless. You can't put a price tag on that. You're fearless. So telling the young people, take time, you're in your 20s, you got time, you got all the time ahead of you. That's a lie. That's a lie, and you're robbing them of something that they'll never get back. For real, the more you learn about life and the wiser you become, the more boring life is. But also, you realize all it really is you're stupid. And not that you're dumb and you're uneducated and you don't know how to figure out. No. You're just stupid to this part of life. You don't think about what people will say about you. Some of his best movies, Adam Sandler's best movies, his best films were early on, where he was just going with his heart and the script and whoever wrote it, and Judd Apatow. You got legendary names. These guys have put together some of your favorite films if you pay any mind to the directors and producers. But the point is, he was pushing the envelope and not afraid to. What's there to be afraid of? No one's told him anything yet. He's not thinking, he's not self-conscious about how he might look a little goofy and there's pretty girls or the whole world's gonna see this. He's just going. He's young, he's going, he's free, he's not thinking twice, he's not reading the comments, there's no comments, he's not worried that later on, magazines and so forth and then blogs and things, yeah. But what I'm saying is early on, he's fearless. And those are some of his best films. Those are the ones that those films resonated with us as a fan, his fan base. We love him, who he is today. We love him for who he always was. And here he is getting to a stage where he's getting older and he's losing that young spirit, fearlessness, and he starts trying to play it a little more safer. And he just said to us, he's writing and he's like, man, let's not put that in. How many classic legendary moments have we been robbed of because he took it out of a script thinking that the people might not like that because of a few comments and a few opinions, nothing more than opinions. So it's ironic. It's ironic that some people, they start to change and allow the people they came here to entertain. He brought himself. He said, here, I'm Adam Sandler. I'm here to entertain. I love to do this. Let me entertain you. I bring myself and my personality and my background and my life and the things I've seen that are funny or things that happen to me that are funny. And then they start listening to the people who are there to be entertained and aren't funny enough to do it themselves, so they're here to be, and then they start trying to tell you how to do the funny, and it's your thing.
Despite the massive success and his new status among the stars, he still felt like he was one of us.
He favors oversized clothes, untied sneakers.
Perhaps this ability to resonate with the average person stems from an average beginning.
My mother said how great I was all the time. I started to believe her. But my father would be like, you're great, but you ain't that great.
His father would be foundational to the man he is today, but his older brother would provide just that little extra push he needed.
My brother said to me when I was applying for colleges, I said, what should I study? He goes, why don't you be an actor? You should be a comedian. I said, yeah, I'll do that. That was kind of that stupid.
And so he would. He'd graduate with a degree in fine arts in 1988, all the while having been...
It is interesting. It's interesting because as a believer, I do believe that God knows. Again, I'll go over it every time, like if you're new here. So if I'm of the faith, and I am, and I believe God knows the number of hairs on your head, that's just who he is. He's all-knowing. He it's not like he's going out his way to figure this out. He's all-knowing. So if I'm of that belief, then I'm of the belief that he knows me, you, inside out, our feelings, our heart, our true intentions, things we think when we speak to him, when we're not speaking to him. And that being said, it's interesting to me, at least, that because he knows you inside out, he knows you. He knows exactly who you are, what makes you tick. He knows you better than you think you know yourself. Because even what you don't understand and you have questions about yourself, he's all-knowing and already knows. So he knows just what to use or who to use as a vessel, as the middleman, as the sender of the message, to pull you in the correct direction. The direction that he has aligned to have the best for you. Because why not? He loves you. He wants to have the best. But in life, you have to do things. There's a process. God is a God of order. Moses took the staff, take this staff in your hand before you split the sea. It doesn't just go. You just say split the sea. It'll have, take the staff in your hand, split the sea. It's just a God of order. It's the way things go. I don't know why. It's just the way things go. It's a process. He's a God of process. And how you do some things is how you do everything. Especially when you're perfect. So he does things according to plan and purpose. Nothing is just thrown in the air. Nothing is just cuz. Plan and purpose. And again, even when it makes no sense, he's all-knowing. He knows exactly the sense it made. But that being said, he knows Adam Sandler's personality. He knows Adam Sandler's not dumb. That's how he perceives it, because he doesn't understand. He's like, man, I was an idiot. He could have told me to be an astronaut in that every moment when I asked my brother what to be, and I would have done it. But that's not the case. The fact of the matter is, God understands and knows that he probably looked up to his brother, especially at that age. Probably wanted to be like him. Probably wanted to hit nothing more at the time. He probably wanted nothing more than just his respect. And I speak from experience. I myself have been in those shoes. That being said, that moment was just God using a vessel to just lead him in the right direction, steer him right where he should be. And it worked. Of course it worked. That's dope. That's dope that he even remembers that. It's crazy. The words you say to someone can make or break them. We're so caught up in being taught the message that sticks and stones, yada yada. That's all good and well. And it should be true. You should learn how to adapt to that. Because sticks and stones, yes, they break bones. But words, you can't allow them to make or break you. There's no better way to say that. That is the message of life when it comes to words. With your mouth you speak life or death. Careful what you allow to come off your tongue. But also, just as important, words will make you or break you. The story you're telling yourself. The words you give yourself. Words of affirmation, courage, or worth of devalue, disrespect. Sometimes I speak to myself in ways that I wouldn't speak to someone else. I'd give someone else the benefit of the doubt. I give them a chance. I'm quick to extend mercy. Because why go the other route? That's the only ultimatum. So sometimes I extend mercy that I don't even give myself. I'm hard on myself. And to some extent, again, I'm going to always push balance. Balance is key. So yeah, to some extent, sometimes you got to be a little tough on yourself. But broskies, I'm so hard on myself when it comes to the smallest thing. I mean, something could just go away that I'm quick to say, no, you need to watch that. That's coming from such and such. And if you weren't doing, and it's like, bro, if someone had did that thing, I'd have been quick to be like, it couldn't have been purposely. Or an excuse or a reasoning. But words can make or break you, and especially who they're coming from. That's why you can't walk around letting people just call you anything. Don't let people nickname you. Don't let people get, especially because sometimes we don't even know where a certain word comes from, and it actually means something that has been you. I wish we could get into that, but I'm really distracting y'all from Adam Sandler's story. It's hard to grasp because that's, how can you grasp 100 years, yet alone what I'm trying to get to? And what I'm trying to get to is, if you say something long enough, this doesn't mean it's just the truth. Your words are power. This doesn't mean you say every morning I'm going to get rich, and just because of that and nothing more, you're going to get rich. That's not how. Words hold power. And even the word power has lost some power. Not in reality, but in some people's mind. You say words hold power, and that doesn't make them hesitant, and it should. The same way I could say, yeah, he got some bread. You know, he got some pull in the area. He got power. The same way you would think twice before playing with such and such, because of the power, is the way you should think twice, 3 times before playing with your words and just speaking without thinking. Thinking without speaking is a behavior that you need to nip in the bud early, because we all do it. We're just filling in the empty spaces, but you need to get to a point where you catch that, especially when you're by yourself, because that's who you are. That's the person you need to be uplifting. That's the person you need to give mercy to, and you need to become self-aware about in a healthy way. Not overthinking everything you do and the way you do this, and sometimes you do too much of that. You're not your critic. You're not here to dissect you and bring you down. But you should learn you so that you can keep you at a healthy mindset where you're level-headed, where you don't think too highly of yourself. You're not the most important. Get over yourself. But you don't think low of yourself. You're not the least of. And that's important. That's an important mindset to maintain. But saying something every day, words of affirmation, all that good stuff that we preach, that females love to post about, that stuff holds weight. It holds power. But there's more to it. Again, our God is a God of order. There's words, we've been given that. Free will, speak what you will. But this holds weight, and it comes with consequences. So we have that, but a God of order. There's a couple more steps to make something complete. It's not just you said it and it's done. But that's why you have to be careful what people are calling you, nicknaming you. Don't just accept everything that someone wants to say to you. There's nothing wrong with you saying, no, just call me by my name. I'm not saying be extra and picky. You walk around and someone knows your name is Robert and they go Bert and you're like, oh, no, relax. But what I'm saying is sometimes people will call you something like, and it stays with them forever. And you see that person 10, 15, 20 years later, and there's just something about it that name fits perfect now. Something like, oh nah, he was always called Hothead. Oh, why y'all call him Hothead? Such and such, such and such. And years down the line, it's like he's been living up to that name, constantly trying to live up to his name, and he finds himself in situations all the time that can coexist with that name. Just be careful what you accept. Names are important. I can't break that down because I don't have the knowledge on that, where names come from, why God allowed for us to even have names. Why isn't it just where you greet each other? I can't get it. I don't have the knowledge to get into that. But they're important and they have meaning. And you can say all day that an orange is now called an apple to you. And that's what you choose to believe. And that's what you're willing to die by and stand for. That an orange to you is an apple. But you can call it an apple all day and all night. But anybody who walks by you, sees you holding that orange, is going to go on to tell of they seen you holding an orange, not an apple. Words are important, and they can make you or break you. So be careful what you tell people, that especially your love. Be careful what you say about anybody. You shouldn't really just be walking around, oh yeah, she's a gossiper, because you heard her gossip one time. Just words hold power. But be careful for sure. Be careful. Tread carefully. Tread lightly what you say to people you love and you want to encourage them. It's okay to think something and not say it. It doesn't make you fake. It doesn't make you, that's funny, you should have told your brother this. No, it's okay to think, how should I say this? Is this the right time to say it? Yeah, you know what? Yo, bro, can you stop doing that, such and such? It really comes across like such and such. All right, bro, I appreciate that. As opposed to, sometimes we don't know how to say something because it's uncomfortable and we never been in this predicament. And we've never seen someone in the predicament, so that we can kind of recycle their moves and we just lash out. It might not even be angry, but it's hurtful. And it can come, words that are lashed out usually are not received. But words that are broken down and explained most of the time are received with gratitude. Yo, appreciate that, bro. I could give an experience, but I'm yapping. So
skills on the comedy stage.
Will Chamberlain scored 100 points in one basketball game. Here's my impression of the coach on the other team. Who's covering Will?
Internalizing the habits of comedic heroes like Rod.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Dangerfield, Steve Martin, and Eddie Murphy. After a night on stage, his sharpened comedic presence would catch the attention of Dennis Miller, who would then recommend him to SNL producer Lorne Michaels. What would follow would be a position alongside arguably the greatest SNL cast ever put together.
You know the poem I turned in? Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
David Spade, Chris Farley, Dana Carvey, Tim Meadows, Molly Shannon, and of course the late great Phil Hartman, to name a few. He'd spent 5 years amongst comedic royalty. However, in 1995, and alongside Chris Farley, he'd be fired from the show.
When I saw Farley, he said, "Me too, they don't want me either." We were both like, this shit. We got mad together, pretending we weren't sad and pretending this was for the best.
Sandler was understandably bitter. The dream of damn near every 90s comedian was to have a spot on SNL. Fortunately for Sandler, his time at SNL had helped generate a loyal fan base.
I realized what Saturday Night Live did for me.
As well as introduce him to a number of comedians and actors who not only had become his close personal friends, but would collaborate extensively alongside him in the films to come. Films that, at the time, all carried his own personal touch. If he wasn't belting his own creative tunes,
Oh, hot, want to touch the hiney.
he was throwing in celebrity cameos,
Even women are possessions to him.
See, Billy Idol gets it. I don't know why she doesn't get it.
recurring bits,
Doyle rules. Thanks a lot, O'Doyle. Nice meeting you.
or helping build the careers of his close personal friends.
The only reason I got made because Adam decided to make it. Leave me alone. I'll make something. Just stop
Adam was
calling.
the guy who okayed it?
He produced it.
Friends like Peter Dante, Steve Buscemi, Alan Covert, and Rob Schneider. But something was missing. Adam Sandler had no trouble pulling the strings and helping his friends land supporting roles before because, well, he was Adam Sandler.
At Sierra, Jessica and her mom discovered a plethora of yoga gear at stellar prices.
You know that voice, right? Coincidence on this commercial. David Spade.
Never in my entire career phoned one thing in.
An unconventional leading man with tremendous mass appeal can make a lot of demands, but when it came time for his friends to receive their fair share of the limelight, production companies would begin getting cold feet. He had a choice to make: either continue raking in millions as a leading man and have his friends watch from the sidelines, or take matters into his own hands.
I guess we could sum up this movie by saying produced by Adam Sandler. Technically, he's your boss.
We were basically peers until he blew by me on a rocket ship. It's good to have actually a boss that's funny.
What resulted was the creation of Happy Madison Productions in 1999. Its first film would see Rob Schneider in the lead role of Deuce Bigelow.
Okay, I quit. You ungrateful heap, bitch.
This unsurprisingly would find significant box office success. What the critics couldn't understand was that Sandler had this formula down to a science. What followed was David Spade in Joe Dirt, which is now an incredibly quotable cult classic.
You're gonna stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you don't have no whistling bungholes?
And Dana Carvey in The Master of Disguise.
Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Adam Sandler was not only giving his close personal friends consistent and stable work, but helping them find their own box office success. I mean, you couldn't escape Rob Schneider at the turn of the new millennium.
In America, they don't allow smoking in aquariums. But in Europe, we don't unilaterally attack a country just to steal their oil.
Joe Dirt is still a regular part of the millennial vocabulary.
Why don't you talk into the microphone? I got a backup mic right here. Check 1, 2. Testing, testing.
Even better was that he was able to juggle multiple projects at once, taking whatever creative freedom he wanted along the way. As a result, you had one of the most successful box office runs of any production company in that entire era. But while there was certainly no shortage of funding, Adam Sandler was getting older now, and the appeal of a slapstick, almost aggressive man-child was slowly waning. He diverged from the typical route in Paul Thomas Anderson's Punch Drunk Love.
The main impetus was wanting to write something for Adam.
I wanted to ask you something because you're a doctor, right? Yeah. I don't like myself sometimes. Mary, I'm a dentist. You know.
He said I'm a dentist. Bro, was tripping. That's another important thing to, keep in mind. It's part of the equation. Time. The times. The reason why that matters is because, again, when you're telling these young men, young women, 20s, you got time. Sometimes what could work right now for them, whether it be a YouTube, whether it be their very look. Maybe they want to be in movies. Their very look. There could be a movie that the casting director, they are looking for that very look. The point is, just go, just do now, because this might be it. Not this is it, as in now or never, but this right now could be your moment. Adam Sandler, he went for it right now. It was his time. It was his moment. It was working at the time, and in those times, it was working, and it was perfect for those times. It was perfect for those times. People wanted to go see a movie. They wanted to relax. They didn't want to be fed political this. They didn't want to be fed propaganda. They wanted to have fun, relax, laugh at stupidity, and come out hoping to have a movie in their catalog that they would watch again. A little bit of replay value is all the audience was asking for. And he was perfect for his time. So sometimes, I'm telling you, don't encourage your friend, your best friends thinking about taking some time off. Encourage, go for it. Just go for it. You know how people say, it'll be there later, take a year off? Think the opposite. Because if you think like that, what's wrong with thinking the other way? Think this way. Go get it now. You could take a year off later. You could take some time off later. That will always be there. But go now. Go now. Go now. Go now. That's the best advice I can give young people. Go now. Just start. Just do.
Fortunately for Sandler, the critics this time around were a lot less harsh. He'd shown he was certainly capable of a performance that warranted much more depth. However, they weren't exactly the sort of films he wanted to make. He'd follow this up with films like 50 First Dates.
Is it something that I can help you with?
No. I just can't read.
The Longest Yard, and Click. Films that the critics absolutely hated, yet audiences would find incredibly endearing. He was back into his old routine, his old formula. That's the thing, though. Adam Sandler's talent lied in what some would call comfort movies. He most certainly had the range. Damn near all critics would be silenced with his unexpected 2019 performance in Uncut Gems.
That's history right there. You understand?
How many casts is this?
What, 4,000 or 5,000?
But we're getting way ahead of ourselves. Now, picture this. You have dozens of lifelong friendships, people who you not only collaborate with, but you're also foundational to their careers.
The film's doing great. It made a huge amount of money last week.
We broke like 3 box office records.
You're best friends with Adam. You guys went to college together.
Yeah.
You've built a fan base that is not only interested in your stories, but deeply cares about the man behind the films. While he's not exactly Coppola or Kubrick, and these themes are fairly surface level, there's a widespread appeal here for a reason. He knows that most of us just want something familiar. Stories we can resonate with, made by people who are not only having the absolute time of their life creating them.
And I always want to do stuff with these guys.
He always buys me dinner, you know. He's just a nice guy, and his wallet's about 10 feet tall.
But are incredibly proud of the work they do.
Adam's comedy doesn't preach or instruct. He's down in the muck with us.
The guys that you came up with, they're either writing or directing or producing or acting in your films. I love you, Adam.
Love you, buddy.
Nobody makes me laugh like you, and nobody has taken better care of me in this business than you.
Legacy. Legacy. What you do outside of what you do. What you do outside of what you do. You're an actor, an artist, an entrepreneur, a businessman, a businesswoman, WNBA player, football player, Formula Ones and all that. But what you do outside of what you do, that's legacy. Adam Sandler. That's one legacy to definitely strive to be like. Constantly opening doors up for his friends, family. Especially nowadays, his wife is more so on the screen. Who could ask for anything better than to call that man a friend? Someone who's constantly opening doors. He's got your back. That's what a friend looks like. And he should within himself have all the pride in the world. Healthy pride, not ego. but pride because, you know, he did it his way. He did it his way. He stayed true to what, yeah, he tweaked things here and there, like he said. We all do that. We all do that. You grow. You become more self-aware of how you may come across certain lines that you wouldn't want to cross. But he did it his way. Kept it funny. Kept it what he thought was funny. Kept it. And his story gets a lot deeper. He was in college. He was writing with this guy. This guy wanted to do something completely different. He ended up coming on board. And now he actually was behind a lot of films written for Adam Sandler's movies. But at this point, he's just having fun. Legendary. He's just having fun. He thought the script sounded good. He thought, I haven't worked with Jennifer Aniston in a minute. Let's do Murder Mystery 1 and 2. Beautiful, beautiful Jennifer Aniston. And she's going to be my wife. And I'm going to drive a few $1 million cars. We're going to blow some stuff up. And my friends will be in the movie. Come on.
Our list at a solid number 10 is the sequel that brought us more laughs, Grown Ups 2. Heading into the 9th spot is the unconventional comedy You Don't Mess with the Zohan. 8th position, we have the first installment of the Grown Ups series. 7th spot is the charming and hilarious Mr. Deeds. Is the romantic comedy gem The Wedding Singer.
How do you know your last name?
Big Daddy.
Oh, I just want you to enjoy my son.
Jack Nicholson in Anger Management.
I don't mean you people, I mean you people.
Yard, where the heart of the film lies in the football game between the inmates and the prison guards. But 3 is the sports comedy masterpiece, The Waterboy. Next in our countdown is the cult favorite Billy Madison.
You just passed the first grade.
Adam Sandler movie is none other than Happy Gilmore.